Hey everybody, my name is LaPrecious and welcome to my channel. Let's talk with LaPrecious. So today I'm going to be eating a toasted coconut by Ava's Cupcakes, which is a bakery here in Winston-Salem. Okay, I'm going to highlight it real quick. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and take this cupcake out so it won't mess up. And set it right there. And then we're going to close it so you guys can see the label. It's a little too much shine. There we go. Ava's Cupcakes, and it's here in Winston-Salem. So, what I want to talk to you guys about while I eat this delicious toasted coconut cupcake here, we're going to talk about Cardi B. So, when it comes to Cardi B was in the news today because people were criticizing her about buying her daughter Kulture a $9,000 Burkin bag for her second birthday. Now, this is not the first time that Cardi B has been in hot water or trouble for buying her daughter lavish gifts, but one thing I will say is that I think that pretty good. Now, one thing I can say is that the icing is really creamy and smooth and buttery and slick, and it tastes real good. Good. Let's see this cake. Now, this cake feels moist. It does. It feels really, really moist. And one thing I can say about my cupcakes is that I love a moist cupcake. You know, tastes pretty good. Tastes like now the bread has like I want to say a shortbread. Yeah, it's like a shortbread, like shortbread rummy pound cake. That's what it tastes like. A shortbread and rum pound cake. But it's pretty good. So yeah, Cardi B, I want to say, has expensive taste. Of course, she always has and always will. But I honestly feel like sometimes when it comes to culture, she overdoes it with the money. Because one thing I'll say is that a lot of times when people are not used to making a whole bunch of money, once they start making all this money, they start spending it on houses, on cars, on clothes, on Birkin bags, on shoes, and things of that nature. And a lot of times they usually spend up all the money or they spend up a large amount of it and then they have to work triple times as hard as they did the first time in order for them to make it. And so and I feel like that's what Cardi B has. Cardi B has that, started from the bottom down here. And since she's made it as Cardi B the rapper, she's been spending all this money. Because Culture's only been here for what, 2 years. Hey Forecast for Life and Cardi B has bought her like thousands of dollars worth of jewelry, thousands of dollars worth of clothes. I mean, Culture, she wears Gucci, Louis, Prada, Moschino, all types of designer clothes. And I mean, her mom is Cardi B and her dad is Offset, so of course she can't afford it. But my thing is that Cardi B is not really seeing the long term effects of how she spends her money. Because Cardi B is not what you would consider a legend or an icon. Cardi B is an Instagram icon or like an Instagram famous person or like an instant fame kind of person. And we've all seen it before with the hide your kids, hide your wife man. and the It's a Fire lady that ended up getting like the barbecue sauce endorsement deal and everything. And I mean, we've all seen these Insta famous people over the years, and they started off really well and they became really famous. And then, like 3 or 4 years later, we didn't hear from them again. Now, Cardi B has done a really good job at maintaining her fame since 2017 because we all became to know her as a stripper on Instagram. And then she ended up becoming, famous on Love and Hip Hop. And then after Love and Hip Hop, she became a world famous female rapper. But Cardi B has not had a hit since Press wasn't even that good. And I mean, the song she did with Fat Joe and Angle AA called Yes, that didn't even do that well. And Writings on the Wall with French Montana Post Malone didn't do that well. And and Below the Border that she did with Ed Sheeran. It's Toasted Coconut. Didn't even do that well. Didn't even do that well. And and it's not like Cardi B has put out any number one hits since then. And it's pretty good. And it's not like she's put out any number one hits since then. And it's not like she's even released the album since Invasion of Privacy. And she even released a Spanish song called Bebe, which a lot of other Latin artists, and that song didn't even chart that well because I don't think a lot of people have even heard or really know about that song. And Cardi B now has been very vocal since we've all been in quarantine about politics. But we all know that when it comes to politics, a lot of her fans are not really here for that entirely. And plus, Cardi B has been receiving a lot of bad press too. Within the past few months for problematic comments on Twitter and, saying things about Asian people and saying things about black people and homosexuals and things like that. Hey, beautiful magic. So it's not like Cardi B has received a whole lot of good press lately. And now, when it comes to her spending all this money on her daughter, it's another scenario about her getting bad press again. But Cardi B has to understand that I'm not sure how her money is stacked up, but I've seen videos where they say Cardi B alone makes a good $500,000 a month from online streams alone. And I know she has like the Fashion Nova line that she gets a good check from. And she probably gets other checks that we may not know about as well. But my thing is, when it comes to rap music, the trap era is about over. Like the Migos, I feel like their careers now, especially with their sound, is holding on by a thread. And you really don't hear about a lot of female rappers or even male rappers still doing that trap music sound. And who knows, by the end of this year, there's probably going to be another sound. And if Cardi B can't match up or can't even live up to the new sound or try to revamp her own sound, then she's not going to make it and she's going to drown out because now Cardi B has some competition. Nicki is back up on the charts again. Then we got Megan Thee Stallion is up there. And those are really the only two female rappers I could think of. Then I have a feeling that Dream Doll has been doing a really good job. And I've even heard that her music is starting to chart really well on Apple Music. So she may be a runner up for the next mainstream female rapper. And so I'm like, Cardi B, if you don't try to come up with something that's a banger or a hit, oh, I'm eating a toasted coconut cupcake. See, and and that's pretty much. And I don't think she's really looking at that. And then a lot of people have been talking about her body, and Cardi B, like always, she always focuses on the negative. Who's talking about her? Who hates her? Who don't like her? This, that, and the third, sense and stuff. But I feel like Cardi, if you don't start making some smarter moves with your money, like try to get some endorsement deals, or try to get some type of, get a TV show or a movie or a documentary or invest in another clothing line or stocks and bonds or try to do something because the way that you're spending your money, it's not smart. Because just like it's here today, it could be gone tomorrow. And I don't think that's something that she really understand it because the Birkin bag that she bought for Culture cost what $9,000, and I'm like, how can a 2-year old use a $9,000 Birkin bag? Well, honestly, and plus they even showed where they got the Birkin bag from Culture, and Culture just looked at it like, okay, I'm about to go play with my toys. And to me, that's just such a waste of money. And then I remember when Cardi B had Culture, like this was way, way like 2 years ago, back when she gave birth to Culture. She bought her and I think she either bought herself and Offset like new Lamborghini cars or something. And she was posting how much money she had in her account. I'm like, okay, we understand you're a rapper and you're rich and you can afford it. But it's like this man cheats on you like no other. You've constantly been in the news for bad press. And not only that, but it's like, your music isn't selling that well. And the only thing that keeps charting or keeps going quadruple and quintuple platinum is that Invasion of Privacy album. And I feel like Cardi B is holding out from doing another album because she doesn't want to create a flop album compared to how well Invasion of Privacy did. And I don't really like mind that or whatever. Hey, Sai. And I don't really mind that because I mean, who wants to debunk the fame and the notoriety that they've gotten from their first album that really made them a household name? So I can understand that, but I'm like, Carter, you're not charting that well anymore. You're getting a lot of bad press. It's like you can't use the coronavirus and the quarantine and whatnot for why is it that you hadn't put out music. And Nicki has put out 2 number 1 hits on Billboard. Megan Thee Stallion has put out, hit songs. I'm like, all these other people putting out music and stuff like that, so why can't you? That cupcake was good. And in a way, right, the coronavirus remix that she made, and she actually made a check off of that because she talked about it. Because she said with that DJ that had remixed it, she figured out a way to get some money off of that. So at least she did make a check during quarantine from that. And that's pretty much like the only thing. But it's like the way you spend money is not the way you spend money is just not that smart because I mean we've all seen female rappers and Instagram models talk about the kind of cars and stuff that they have, the mansions and stuff. But it's like when Cardi B does it, it's you just doing it for show. And plus, Cardi B, she does it to herself because when she does stuff like that, it opens up the gate for people to have opinions and stuff about how she spends her money and how she looks and whatnot. Because my thing, what Cardi may have to do, because Cardi has to understand you're not a stripper anymore and you're not a reality TV show anymore. You're a female rapper. So when you're in a more professional establishment in life, you have to move differently. Because the same reasons that you're showing your Birkin bag to your 2-year-old daughter is the same reason why people like Pop Smoke was killed for showing off on social media, where he showed off so bad it had the address to where he stayed, and the robbers found out where he lived and they shot and killed him. And it's like everybody knows that Cardi B lives in Atlanta. And I mean, somebody can be, and people are really smart nowadays. Nowadays, they know how to look up people's telephone numbers and addresses and pull up on them. Because Keisha Bottoms, who's the governor of Atlanta, had protesters pulling up to her house. So I'm like, if they can do that to her, they can do the same thing to Cardi B. So it's like Cardi, it's not the simple fact of you being tired of people talking about you and stuff, but that stunting and showing off all the time, it can get you killed. It can get your daughter kidnapped. I mean, it can cause so much stuff for you. Like, it's nothing wrong with taking pictures, culture and offset and things like that. But just stop showing everything that you get and buy for your daughter and for yourself and what offset gives you. Because a lot of these famous people, they really need to learn some humbleness and how to stop showing off so much, because then y'all get mad when people have something to say, a they have a judgment or a comment that they want to give to you. And it's ridiculous, because it's like you're tired of people talking about you, and you're tired of people always having something to say about you, but you keep giving people things to talk about. Because I remember, like, with the Chris Brown documentary that they had on Netflix, I actually saw that like a week ago. It's pretty good. And not only that, oh, my leg is cramping. But not only that, it's just, you can make life really dangerous for you. Because when we look at other female rappers like Nicki Minaj, even with Jocelyn Hernandez, um, let's see, who else is a female rapper? Missy Elliott, Eve, thinking about some more recent ones, Megan Thee Stallion. I mean, we've all seen their houses and stuff, but they've never like have just shown off like that. And it's like anytime they do post stuff, it is excuse me. And it's like when they post stuff, it it's like we're seeing them just dancing or talking or stuff like that. And and they're not really showy and showboaty about what they have. I mean, Nicki Minaj, of all people, we've never seen her house on any platform unless it was a studio or maybe the downstairs where she takes pictures next to the steps and the statue she may have next to the staircase. But we've never seen her house in its entirety. And we don't even know how many houses or cars she has. But when it comes to Cardi B, we know she got what? A Lambo truck, because I think Offset bought her that, what, 2 years ago for her birthday. Then she bought him and her new Lamborghini cars. And then she showed where they have like that 14-bedroom mansion in Atlanta. And it's like you show your life too much. Like, I feel like when you reach that thing, people don't need to see everything that you have and everything that you do. And since you're an artist, it's okay to be in touch with your fans and whatnot, but just keep the music. Like, do stuff about music. Talk about your music. Put out snippets of your songs and stuff. Or try to put out some songs of music. Yeah, MTV Cribs wasn't a real house. But MTV Cribs, they was kind of shady. Because it was a lot of shady stuff. MTV, they are a very shady channel. Because it was Pimp My Ride and MTV Cribs that wasn't all that real. So, but yeah, my thing is, it's like all these other female rappers that are so well known for their music, they don't even be showing all the cars and jewelry and all that kind of stuff that they have. So it's like, why do you have to showboat your stuff so much? And we could tell Cardi B has a real insecurity issue because she feels the need to just prove stuff to everybody all the time. I feel like when it comes to Cardi B and her whole rap career and whatnot, I felt like she got lucky because she was Hispanic. And I know a lot of people don't want to admit that, and a lot of people don't want to say it because throughout hip hop history, unless it was men, I mean, when you look at everybody's ethnicity in hip hop, ain't nobody fully black, to be honest with you, because a lot of the famous male rappers are either half Hispanic or some type of Afro Caribbean, some are half black, half white. It's a mixture. But we all know in hip hop, you black. unless you're just black. And that's how we see it. But when it comes to Cardi B, it was like it's something we've never seen before, where we have this Dominican girl talking black, acting black, and being so ratchet and gaining all this attention and stuff. People say it's a blessing, blah, blah, blah. I don't, because I just feel like Cardi B got lucky because she's starting to get backlash for a lot of the stuff that she's done over the years and the constant problematic problems she says and does and whatnot. And it's like she can just never take it. And this is what happens when you give people fame too fast. They don't know how to handle it. They don't know how to spend the money since they're not used to having all this money at such a big sum or such a small amount of time. They just go buku with it. And I feel like that's what it is. Hey everyone, yeah, it's been 2 years since she put out an album. Yeah, it has been. And I mean, Megan Thee Stallion doesn't even have an album. And I don't know if a lot of people even realize that Megan Thee Stallion has had a bunch of hit songs and EPs, but no album. And I think that's amazing. I remember Nicki Minaj. I remember people kept pressuring her to make an album. Yeah, because the only thing Nicki had was mixtapes, and Nicki's mixtapes was almost like albums. And then Nicki started putting out albums. Right. And Drake, he had a lot of mixtapes. Drake's mixtape, I forgot what the name of it was. It was so good it could have been an album. Or really should have been an album. And that's really what, broke him out into mainstream. And so yeah, so it's like Megan Thee Stallion holds her own when she does these songs. And TikTok has really blown her up. And TikTok has really blown a lot of people up lately because you had Megan Thee Stallion Savage that got blown up, Raul Alejandro's Dream Girl that blew up. Then you had Chris Brown's Go Crazy, because a lot of people have been doing the Chris Brown Go Crazy challenge, and they've been really good. And I love that song Go Crazy because he came out with the official video today, and I really wasn't expecting that much from Chris Brown when it came to that song. I'm sure he made a video for it just because it is so popular, and they've even been playing on the radio a lot here in Winston. And so, yeah, the video was pretty much, a house party with a couple of girls and them dancing at the basketball court, which was all right. The only thing I'll say I liked about the video was Chris Brown's hair. I don't know who did Chris Brown's hair, but he done grew it out, and now it got like that pretty dark brown, blonde mix to it, and it's really good. So whoever did his hair did a good job. But yeah, so yeah, he released that video today, and it was alright. But I like the song better than I like the video. I just wish she would have danced more in the video because that song. And I think the reason why that song is so popular is because of that feel good, late mid 2000s jam. It got to it, and everybody can just dance to it. So that's what I pretty much like about the song, and I think that's why other people like the song. And it really has that old school Chris Brown beat to it because we really don't hear a lot of like real good R&B music that can either make you cry or dance like that. So yeah, Chris Brown did a good job with that, and I felt like TikTok and social media really blew that song up too. They used New Orleans bounce. Oh really? I didn't really hear that in the song. I mean, I know what New Orleans bounce music is, but I didn't really pay attention to that. So that's cool if they did. But let's see. So I talked about Chris Brown, Cardi B, and now a lot of people are still talking about Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon and this whole, Israelites and Black Hebrews and stuff, and him being fired. Now they're saying that Wild 'N Out might get canceled because Viacom was not only the head of his podcast, but of MTV that broadcast Wild 'N Out. And I think that might be over Nickelodeon too, and he has stock in Nickelodeon. So I just feel like it's just a really shaky moment for him. But you just got to be careful of what you say because when you're under people that you may not agree with or stuff, you just can't be talking crazy about them and talking and all that kind of stuff. And you know, I honestly don't see what was wrong about what he said. I mean, from a cultural standpoint, it may not have been wrong, but it was just the way that he said it. And plus, the thing about black people, and I hate this when it comes to us, whenever we tell our culture on non black platforms or non black spaces, it's just not going to be welcome like that. It's not. Unless we're the ones that's owning it or we're the ones that's over it, which is why we have, places like BET and TV1, and we used to have Centric, but that got all messed up. And yeah, and I think that's what they really did because by him saying that, that's why this snatched show up so fast. Because my thing is, there's nothing wrong with schooling people and educating people, but whenever you come into non-black places and you try to teach people about black culture, and even if it intertwines with their culture, they don't want to hear it. They don't. They don't want to hear it. Because I remember when, if you guys don't know, I have a painting called The Many Faces of Blackness. I'm going to show it to y'all in the wall. Can y'all see that real good? So what you'll see in that picture is on the left, it's an African American woman. And then in the middle, it's an African woman. And then on the side, it's an Afro Latina on there. And so that's what I consider the many faces of blackness. So I used to teach, well, not teach, I used to be a teacher's assistant for a Hispanic after school program. And I remember one time when I wanted to show that to the kids and stuff, one of the girls that was there, who was an assistant teacher like me, I said, well, since it's Black History Month, blah, 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 it'd be good to talk about this and then talk about, Black culture and the Hispanic culture. She was like, what? She says, I don't know about that. And she came off as if she was mad. Now, need I remind y'all, this is the same not black girl, the same Hispanic girl that was so cool with the head teacher who's black, will be trying to learn all the black dances and all that kind of stuff. But then when people talk about blackness in the Hispanic world, now you want to get mad and get an attitude and don't want to talk about it. And that's the type of stuff that I'm talking about, because the thing is, it's like people like to learn about our culture and they want to get in cool with our people, and then they want to dance and whatnot into our culture so that it can benefit them by them having children and babies and friends and all that kind of stuff with us. But then when it comes to us coming into their culture and talking about our blackness and how we can relate and whatnot, they don't want to hear that. And they want to segregate us and push us back and tell us we don't belong and tell us that we don't have no place with them. And I feel like, and I just feel like that's really what it was with Nick Cannon. But I just feel like when it comes to black people and black voices, we have to, exactly, people don't like the actual history of the world because black people have played a part and a role in a lot of cultures, not just in the Americas, but in Europe and Asia. Like they even had slaves, that even made it all the way to Asia. Because there's this island called the Maldives, which is really pretty. And it's like a little island culture. Well, not an island culture, it's an island nation that's predominantly Muslim that I think is on the off coast of India. And the people there are like chocolate dark. And they said they're a mix of Indian and other ethnicities. And they said that slave ships had made it all the way to over there. So even those people had black in them to an extent. And I don't think a lot of people know that, but it's just that black culture and really African culture has just been bashed and watered down and just hated on so much. It's like everybody can touch us, but we can't touch them. And if you notice, whenever we try to rise up and say anything about the other cultures and how they portray us and whatnot, we can't speak up about it. They try to shut us up and shut us down. And like I said, what's worse, you even have other black people that co-sign it and go along with it. And and my thing is, I just feel like that's just how this world is. And it's only going to be like that unless Black people start creating our own spaces where we can talk about our own stuff, and pretty much where we can just be free and open and honest without being in fear of getting fired, or without being in fear of somebody not listening to us and not talking down to us, or them retaliating against us and doing stuff behind our backs. Because Nick Cannon should have known. And plus, Nick Cannon has been around these people for years. So it's not like he didn't know what the consequences were going to be. And it's not like he didn't know what was to come from this. So he pretty much knew what could have happened, or what was going to happen. And he pretty much knew the comments that he said. My own thing is that when it comes to Black people and Black voices, yes, we have the Black Lives Matter movement. Yes, we have a lot of companies and businesses listening to us, but it's still hard for us. This George Floyd stuff did not erase racism that has been here for hundreds of years, nor has it erased the racism we've experienced in other countries. For example, in the United Kingdom, they had a statue up of a white supremacist leader, and they took it down, and they actually put a Black Lives Matter female protester on that stand with her fist up. I saw a news report yesterday. They removed the Black Lives Matter statue. It's no longer there. And their whole excuse or their reason for that was, they didn't get permission to do that. And they weren't supposed to do that without somebody voting on it. And I'm saying to myself, well, how was they able to put it up there and to get it up there if it wasn't, I don't know if they took that statue down because of racist views and whatnot, or why. But I just feel like Black people have got to stop thinking that since Black Lives Matter is reinvented or regenerated now due to this whole George Floyd situation, that doesn't mean that has just changed the world for Blacks. It's still that way to an extent. And these people are not going to respect Blacks unless we start respecting ourselves and creating spaces where when people that aren't Black start coming into our communities and coming into our spaces and whatnot, saying stuff and doing stuff, they know to be quiet when they come in. They know not to say stuff to come in. And that's what Black people don't understand. We have got to stop thinking that we can come in. Yeah, there was a statue in the United Kingdom. That's what I said. But as Blacks, we have got to stop thinking that when we come into white owned or Hispanic owned or Asian owned businesses and can just do things the Black people way. It don't work like that. And a lot of times these businesses that hire Blacks, when it's a whole bunch of them in there, they come in there thinking we the token Black. That we the one that's gonna laugh at all the racist jokes, that's gonna let them pick on us, that's gonna let them talk ish to us whenever they feel like it and not say nothing. The ones that's gonna bully other Blacks that's in there. But when we come in their business with some sense and start speaking their language like they do, and then even start making more money than they do in their own business, yeah, see how long you last in there. Not very long. And that's how it is. And a lot of Blacks have to understand that we need to revitalize our place in this world. We can own our own businesses. We can own our own podcasts and our own TV networks and stuff like that. We can own that kind of stuff. But we have got to learn how to move when we're in non Black places. Because the only way that Blacks are going to be able to get any type of respect from other people is that we're going to have to make it so where we just like the Hispanics. Anybody knows that when you come into a Hispanic establishment, you better not say nothing about them. You better not say no derogatory words. You better not try to pick up what they're saying in Spanish. You better not try to know their business or nothing, because as soon as they peep that in you, all of them going to rise up against you and get you up out of there unless they beat you down before they do. And that's why people know not to touch them or to disrespect them. And Black people used to be like that, but some type of neurological malfunction just happened to us where we just, don't think we black no more. And we don't have to stand up for our own. But yeah, that's why people don't touch Hispanic people like that. And it's even the same way with the LGBT community. They've got it so people come correct with them. And that's what black people have to start doing. Because if not, we're not gonna have much and we'll keep getting disrespected. Black people, we should be establishing our own. We shouldn't be worried about what other people are doing. Exactly. Exactly. And a lot of us do that. And a lot of us want to continue caping and sticking up for other races and just always being there for these other people. And even Funky Dineva was saying stuff. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. When it comes to Funky Dineva, he makes me laugh and he's funny sometimes, but sometimes he can be very hypocritical when it comes to some of this racial stuff. Because at one point, he was saying with the whole Nick Cannon thing, well, the stuff he was saying was derogatory and whatnot. Then he said the same thing that I said about how when you work for people you're talking about, you can't expect to stay, which is true. But then he was saying, like, I'm willing to hear the other side of the story. And one person was saying, like, well, why are you sticking up for them and they're not sticking up for us? And Funky Dineva was saying, like, well, I believe in listening to other people and giving other people respect even when they don't respect me. And this is another issue that black people have. We are way too forgiving when it comes to nonsense. And we want to put up with so much crap and excuse it and write it off as nothing and just roll with it. And that's why so many of us get disrespected. That's why a lot of us hardly get anything in return, whether it comes to money, to respect, to relationships and things of that nature. That's why people don't respect us. Because we let everybody walk all over us. We let everybody have respect in our spaces. And we let people just say whatever they want to say and do whatever they want to do out of this universal love we want to show people all the time. And we fail to realize that blacks are not getting universal love. And then these are the same black people that want to say Black Lives Matter. You shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. We need to do this, we need to do that. I'm like, black people, you need to just go ahead and bleach your skin and pass off as a Mexican or Korean or whomever you want to be like. That's just how I feel about it. Because there's no point of you even being in the black community if you will not stick up for us, but you will stick up for other people so bad. And you just want to be on their side and be with them and just stand with them so hard. Like, go ahead and be over there with them and see how they treat you. Or see how much of yourself you have to give up just to be accepted by them. And a lot of black people, they just not understanding that. And then now I'm seeing a whole bunch of black people say, well, why are y'all so concerned about who black people date and you should want to date other people? Well, newsflash, a lot of black people can't just simply date other folks because people really don't understand how this whole interracial thing works or how this whole multicultural thing works. For example, just because I'm black and have the desire to date a white man or a mixed man or Hispanic man or Asian man doesn't mean I can. Because if they don't prefer me, then we ain't gonna have nothing. And that's just how it is for some black people. And a lot of people always want to stick up for these blacks that date outside of their race and tell the other ones to pretty much date whomever they want to date, but they don't understand that some black people really can't date whomever they want to date. And then these same people that are talking and defending these folks, they have nobody. They're single. And that's another thing I don't get about folks. It's like y'all stick up and stand up for these people so bad when it comes to a lot of this stuff that people are doing. And y'all still ain't getting no help. Y'all still not in a relationship. Y'all still don't have friends or nothing like that. So I'm like, y'all are doing all this sticking up and caping and y'all don't even have nothing to y'all's name. And I'm like, I don't know if y'all pay attention to that stuff or not. Because I'm like, if you ain't got nothing or got what these people have that you sticking up for, and you need to be quiet. And that's just how I see it. In order for us to start demanding respect from other people, we also need to start demanding respect from our own people that can't seem to love each other. Yeah, that's true. Nick Cannon knew he was compromised, so he shouldn't be apologizing. Stand on what you said. Exactly. See, he tried to pull a little say, "Oh, oops, let me just apologize so I can go ahead and get this out of the way so they can see I apologize." And but it's like it's still you said what you said, and we let you go, so you don't have to live with that. People having lack of respect for their family, friends, and associates, loyal to people. Yeah, exactly. And we see a lot of this, especially in the black community, with this deep rooted loyalty to people that just don't mean us any well. And I really do feel like this is a thwart mindset that we have learned from slavery. I really do feel like that because when we were slaves, the slave masters made us turn on each other for their own benefit. And sometimes it would even be for our own benefit too, depending on, how we were treated and whatnot. Yes, that's right. We need to do better and start fixing the issues that we have within our race. Exactly. And so yeah, a lot of black people have adopted that mindset where if you like say your child needs something, then you got a Hispanic child that come in the room. Oh, forget the black child or your own child. Let the Hispanic come and sit at the table. They'll give them food, they'll give them money, give them a bus pass and all that. But then you sit up here and make your child suffer and go without anything, and they have to go and work for it. And I've seen stuff like that. And if it's not Hispanic, it's with the whites, it's with the Asians, and it's like black people. I don't understand why y'all are holding on for dear life for y'all to just fix up and make up these other races. And y'all don't see how y'all are fixing up a race of people to be over us and to be better than us. And when the time comes, they're going to kick us out. And I don't think a lot of blacks understand that. And this even goes into dating with this whole Build a Bear situation. Because I know a lot of us have heard this relationship advice about how women shouldn't be building up men or fixing up men or redesigning men because they need help or they may be broken or they may not have everything that they need. And I feel like in the black community, if it's not men, we do that to other races as well. We see somebody white coming in, oh, we're going to fix them up and build them up and teach them the black people way and stuff like that. And then before you know it, they be our bosses and they be our assistant managers or they be our district managers and stuff like that. And here we are, still a employee or still a cashier or still somebody that hardly got anything. Because a lot of black folks don't understand. We help people cut us down. I'm sure y'all probably done seen that picture where they say, "Be careful who you help," where the person is standing on the chair and they helping cut a noose or something off somebody's neck, but they don't see how the person that's hanging on the noose is about to kick the stool, the person that's helping them off from under their feet so they can fall. That's what black people are doing. And it's like we don't see how we help people that's gonna hurt us eventually. And I'm not saying that black people should not help people of other races. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I'm saying is that if you see a race of people that are being racist to us and that are not helping us and they're hindering us, and it's even a part of their culture to not even help people or associate with people or even respect people that look like us, why are you helping them? Now I can understand if y'all are genuinely friends or if y'all are family members by marriage or mixing along down the line. I could see that. You are so beautiful. Don't let anyone tell you different. Oh, thank you, Veronica. And so yeah, and so the thing is, it's like I can understand if you are with other races because y'all are genuinely friends or y'all are family members because some racial mixing along down the line, because you do have black people that are like that where they have cousins and stuff that's other races because their parents dated out, stuff like that, so I can understand that. But this whole thing that I keep seeing with black people where, oh, I'm going to jump in and help the Hispanic person because I want them to like me or they deserve to be here because they're immigrants and stuff like that, because I see a lot of that too. Or I'm going to just go out and help the white people, because I want them to help me out and to be my friend and all that kind of stuff. And If you ever need to talk to someone, I'm always here for you, girl. Oh, okay. Thank you, Veronica. And so, and I've seen them even do it to Asian people too. And so it's like, it's like black people, we have got to rebuild our community. There's nothing wrong with speaking to a black person. There's nothing wrong with befriending black people. And I know sometimes black people get tired of, being around black people or even dating black people, and they want something new. So that is sometimes why people date outside their race or have friends that's outside the race. And there's nothing wrong with that, because we all want a little remix or a break from the norm or just something different every now and then. There's nothing wrong with that. And I think that is one reason why black men have started dating out and whatnot. And, black women do it too. So it's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying is that there just needs to be a little bit more self love within the black community and a little bit more sense making. Because I feel that due to this warped energy, or due to this warped mindset that blacks have been taught through slavery, is kind of passed down the line, and then a lot of that has been intertwined in dysfunctional way of thinking, where right is wrong and wrong is right, and living right is not what you're supposed to do, and making sense is not making sense at all. And even when it comes to raising children to be successful in everything that they're supposed to be, is seen as something that white people do or that other people do, we're not going to be able to get ahead. Because a lot of people have been saying, there was even a story about a black woman that was in the hospital, and I think she was sick or something, and one of the black nurses or doctors had braided her hair up and stuff, because you know how her hair is whenever it gets messed up and whatnot. And so yeah, and so he was pretty much saying, and she woke up from the coma or whatever it was, and said there needs to be more black representation in the medical field. And I agree with the same thing, because I live in Winston-Salem, and in Winston-Salem we have people here of different races, but a lot of the offices, in my opinions, from working and being in there, they appear to be segregated, because you don't see a lot of blacks or other people of color in these spaces. And we know they go to school and college for these things, but it's like, why are we not seeing them? So yeah, I think there does need to be more representation of blacks, not just in the medical field, but of all fields, because I feel like if there was more of us in medical fields that were actually black, and not the kind of black people that want to go along to get along with white staff members and Hispanic staff members and stuff like that, and actually be there for our people and for our community, then a lot of this racist stuff will stop going on. And we could finally get the representation and the help that we need, instead of being the odd ones out where we're seeing everybody get help but us. So I hope you all like this video. Don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment in the comment section. But also don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Have a good day.